Hi everybody, welcome to the Metro Hobbies YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be stepping up in size and scale and going to be having a look at a few 12th scale vehicles that we have on offer. So what we're going to be having a look at is this Magnifier US sports car, which is obviously a Mark II Ford GT, as well as this Meng Mark II Ford GT, both in 12th scale, as well as the same car that Meng do except pre-painted. So essentially, we're just going to go through the two kits, have a look at why there is such a big price point with the Meng Ford GT being over twice as expensive as this Magnifier one, and just see why that is and what the Meng kit offers that this kit doesn't, etc. Okay, so we've got the two kits in front of us here. On my left, we've got the Magnifier US sports car, and on the right, we have the Meng Ford GT. Now, the first thing that you will notice is me going US sports car. The reason this is the Meng kit has official licensing from the Shelby collection to actually use the Ford name and the Ford logo. So you can see on the side of the car, it does have written Ford, so they do have a licensing, and this is a huge price point. So it is very expensive to license kits, especially car kits. So that is a lot of the reason why this kit is quite a bit more expensive than this Magnifier kit. Now, as you can see with the Magnifier kit, on the side of the car, you will see there is no Ford logo, there's no Ford writing, anything like that, nothing to do with the livery, nothing like that. And obviously, since they don't have licensing, they can't even mention Ford, which is why they have gone with the name US sports car. So that is one major difference between the price point of these two kits. So now moving on to the kits themselves, first we've got the instruction sheets. So obviously instructions, the better they are to understand, the more easy it is going to be to make the kit. The Meng instruction is really, really good, really easy to understand. It's actually in color as well. So it highlights what piece you are putting in, where exactly it is going, and it just makes it a really easy system. In saying that, the Magnifier kit isn't necessarily bad, it's just not as easy to understand as this Meng kit. So if you're not as an experienced builder, if you don't have too much experience in building car kits or 12th scale car kits, this Meng kit would be a lot easier to understand and a lot easier to go together. So now that we've gone over that briefly, let's have a look and dive into the kits themselves. Alrighty, so now let's have a deeper look at the kits themselves. So what I'll start with is similarities, because both of these kits do have some pretty common similarities that they both share. First of all, they both have spring moving suspension, which I honestly didn't expect with the price point of this Magnifier kit, and I'm quite surprised it has, but it's an awesome little detail that both of these kits offer. As well as that, they do both offer really nice photo etched metal parts, which go on nice and easily, as well as cloth fabric for the seat belts. So that both of these kits do offer really nice in-depth detail. They've both got full engine builds, full suspension, yeah, lots of really nice details that both of these kits come with. Now, if we start to look at some of the differences, first of all, you've got the quality of the parts themselves. The Meng kit is really, really high quality. The way that all the parts are molded, there's been lots of compliments towards Meng on how well this kit goes together. There's not much adjustments that you need to make. Everything just fits together real nicely. The Magnifier kit is not bad, but I have heard some complaints of the doors not sitting on right, or some pieces just not going together quite as they should, and you've just had to do some adjustments and spend a bit of time trying to make them perfectly fit. So if you're not a very experienced modeler, I definitely recommend this Meng kit, because the instructions being really clear, as well as the quality of parts being really nice, makes it quite an easy kit to go together compared to this Magnifier kit. Now, if we look at more specific parts, I've taken the engine cover of both of these pieces just to sort of compare them. The Meng kit, I've had a good look through both of these. I've noticed a lot more little details within the molding on the Meng kit compared to the Magnifier kit. And the Magnifier kit, I'm not sure if you can see here, but there is a little bit of cleanup that you need to do on some of the parts. So where the sprue has been cut, for instance, on these four places, there's quite a lot of excess plastic that needs to be cleaned up, and there's also some really visible seam lines as well, which can be quite annoying. So there is a bit of cleanup to do on the Magnifier kit. Now, if we look at the Meng kit, the sprue is still there, so you can cut it yourself and clean it up, but the rest of it is really nice. There's no seam lines that I can see, really nice quality, and yeah, as I said before, just the quality of the moldings themselves is quite a lot better than this Magnifier kit, and that, of course, is another aspect of the price point. Now, one last thing that I will mention with these two kits is the paint guide. So this Magnifier kit does give a specific guide for Humbrol paints, but only for the body color. Whether you're doing that blue or the black that it offers, it gives you specific paints for body color, then everything in terms of engine, suspension, underneath wheels, etc. It gives you like a generic color, for instance, black or gunmetal, but doesn't give you a specific code for a specific shade of color. Whereas this Meng kit gives you a full parts list, a full code list rather, of AK interactive paints to do absolutely everything within the car. So that'll make it absolutely perfect color and just make it exactly how it would be in real life. So now that we've gone over the pros and cons and differences of these kits, we'll now move over quickly to the pre-colored version of this Meng kit. Alrighty, so this kit that I have in front of me here is the exact same Meng kit that I just showed before. The only difference is it's all pre-cut and pre-painted, so it's ready to go within the build. Now, the first thing that you will notice with this kit is it is extremely nice packaging. So once I open it up here, you can see you're greeted with this really awesome packaging of the Ford GT itself. So I'll just flip this on its back and grab these guys out. So all of these little containers have the body parts, the body panels in them themselves. So the engine, the hood, doors, etc. Then what you're left with in the box is all of the sprues. And as you can see, they are all pre-colored with the exhaust, suspension pieces, the underbay, all of it is colored and yeah, is really, really nice. So if we have a look at a larger piece, obviously we've got the Meng and Magnifier, the two other kits that we looked at, in just the base plastic white. And then the pre-painted one already has the paint and the stickers on, as you can see through the packaging there. And the paint is really, really nice. It's been primed, painted, gloss. It's a really beautiful finish. And yeah, once you put this together, you will have an amazing result and it'll look absolutely beautiful. And then one other thing that I'm going to point out is in this little tray here, we are greeted with the windows as well as the photo etch parts. So all the windows have been cut out as well, and you've got actually the black trim around the windows. So absolutely everything that needs to be painted is painted. Okay, so as you can see, all of the smaller components are still on the sprues. Now, as I said, they are all pre-painted, so you don't have to worry about painting, but all the smaller bits and bobs like the exhaust, suspension, all that is still all on the sprue. But the main body panels and the windows and all of the larger components, they are pre-cut. So there's no cutting, sanding, anything like that, worrying about seam lines, etc. They are all ready to go and ready to put together. So it's just all these little components that you will just need to cut out, but it's not nearly as much work as you'd have to do in the other Meng and the Magnifier kit. So that pretty much wraps it up on this even more detailed version of the Meng kit. So this kit is quite a lot more expensive. This is almost 2 times as much as the non-painted Meng kit, but it is really amazing quality and you don't have to worry about any cleanup, any cutting, any sanding, any painting because it's all been done for you. So that pretty much wraps it up for these 3 kits. Alrighty, so that pretty much wraps up what these 3 kits have to offer. Now, I cannot even count how many times I've been here at the shop looking at the car kit section, even for 24th scale kits, and seeing 2 very similar cars in the same scale with 2 completely different price points. So hopefully everything that I've gone over with the price points of these 3 kits today will help you with your future purchases on why 2 very similar items might have such a large price range. Now, I personally own this Magnifier kit because personally I feel like this is the best value for money. It is very similar to the real life Ford GT. As I said, it still offers extremely nice detail, engine detail, etc. But if you are wanting an easier, more joyful building experience, this Meng kit is a lot easier to go together. Everything does fit together a lot nicer, and as I mentioned a few times, it does have the licensing by Ford. Now, this doesn't only mean it has the Ford stickers, this means the quality of the parts themselves are really, really, really close to the real life vehicle. So it's a lot closer than this Magnifier kit is. Then if you want to go even further than that, you can go ahead and get yourself the pre-painted Meng kit, which is barely any cutting or sanding that you need to do. All you really need is some glue and some sprue cutters just to whack it all together. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up, and please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on all of our social medias, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.